He's like a top, spinning his way down the field. It is good. Game winner to walk it off.
Josh on the run, headed to the end zone. He is in. Touchdown. It is good. And the Buffalo Bills win it. That's what I'm talking about.
Both Sean McDermott and Bill O'Brien coming off dramatic victories a week ago. Both teams at 2-3 as they get set for this Week 6 matchup. Houston won the toss, and they have elected to defer. So Buffalo will get the football first.
You know, it's interesting for Sean McDermott that we met with him in the meetings. He's coaching a dramatically different team this year than last year. Last year he had a veteran quarterback in Tyrod Taylor. Now he has a rookie starter, and the way that you approach and you shape and you mold the team is totally different when you have that rookie at quarterback.
Ray McCloud back deep for Buffalo and awaiting the kick from Kaimi Fairbairn, who's had a touchback on 21 of his 27 kickoffs this year. Underway in Houston, roof is closed. It's time for football, and McCloud from the 2. McCloud at the 20, he lost the football. The ball came out late. Bills indicating they have it, and they do. So nearly a disastrous start for Buffalo. And out comes the rookie quarterback, Josh Allen, making his 5th start. And you see his numbers as a starter this season: 2 touchdowns, 5 interceptions. He's a threat with his legs. His 3 rushing touchdowns tied for the most of any rookie in the NFL. J.J. Watt enters today tied for first in the NFL with 6 sacks on the season. LeSean McCoy starting at running back. It is loud here in Houston. And on first down, it's McCoy. And McCoy just across the 25-yard line for a gain of 4. Bills building some continuity on this offensive line. Sean McDermott told us it took a lot of criticism early. We don't really have a household name up front, but they have bonded together, and you're starting to see them develop. There's Brian Daboll, the Bills offensive coordinator. Out of the shotgun, he will throw, and it's incomplete. He's looking for the tight end, Charles Clay. There's Romeo Crennel, defensive coordinator for the Texans. His 37th year in the NFL.
You know, you want to mix it up against a young quarterback, but you don't want to do so much that your players are going, this is gimmicky. Just let us line up and beat the guys. And I think for the quality of players that you have in that front 7 for the Houston Texans, they can just line up and get after Buffalo.
Let's see what the Bills do on their first 3rd down today. They are last in the NFL, converting at just 25% of the time. Play clock at 1. Allen looking right, in trouble. Gets away, now moving, chased by Watt. Allen throws across the middle of the field and completes it to McCoy. McCoy out towards the 50. It looked like that was going to end in disaster. Instead, it's a gain of 22.
Andrew, if you are a coach on the Buffalo Bills sideline, this starts off as an oh no, oh no, oh no, oh no, oh yeah play. And it's something that when you look at it on film on Monday, you're going, what made you make this throw? We're glad you made it, but you normally don't throw back across the field across your body.
So they convert their first 3rd down opportunity. Allen back to the air, over the middle, and caught by Clay. A gain of 9 for Buffalo as they move into Houston territory.
That was the same ball that he threw to Clay, and it went around his ankles as a big sinker. That time he has great coverage from Matthews behind him, and he throws that in there and throws it in there hard. And when you have a quarterback who has that great velocity, you've got to get those hands ready at all times.
With the spot, it's a 10-yard pickup and a first down for the Bills. 1st and 10 from the 42-yard line. Chris Ivory into the game at running back. Houston may have jumped early. There is a flag down. Ivory hit home. It was Watt first and then Tyrann Mathieu second, but Our referee today, Craig Rolstadt, throwing a penalty, and it appears it's against the Texans.
Offside. Defense, number 90. 5-yard penalty. Still first down.
And Jadeveon Clowney has had that issue this year. He was lined up in the neutral zone last week in the win over Dallas.
And he's lined up at that position where he's inside, so he's trying to shoot the gap and anticipate the snap count. You still got to, like every coach will tell you, watch the football. Don't listen to the quarterback with that voice inflection.
Bernardrick McKinney, the Texans linebacker, told us they're going to try to confuse Allen as much as possible, line up different guys at the line. Some will rush, some will back off. All part of the deal when you're a rookie quarterback. As Clay has his second catch shoved out by Zach Cunningham. So Charles Clay on this drive already has more catches than he did all of last week in the win against Tennessee.
And when we talked to Brian Daboll, the offensive coordinator, we were talking about who are the really good guys on third down. He mentioned LaShawn McCoy. He mentioned Charles Clay. He said they both have really, really good short area quickness. His receivers are more big, kind of lumbering guys who can out-physical you, but they're not great in short area quickness.
More movement on the line and another flag.
Ball start. Offense, number 80. 5-yard penalty. Still second down.
So the Texans have the most pre-snap penalties in the NFL, and the Bills have the second most pre-snap penalties in the NFL. We've already seen 2, one for each team on this opening drive. That was on Jason Kroon.
And to the casual eye, you saw the defense moving and kind of, making a little movement. Unless they cross over into the neutral zone, the offense can't react. When they're on their side of the ball, they can move and jump as much as they want. But once they cross that neutral zone line, when they cross into that, then the offense can react and it's against the defense.
Empty backfield, LaShawn McCoy, bottom of your screen. Allen taking a deep shot for Kelvin Benjamin, and it's incomplete. Tight coverage on the play. Matthew and Jonathan Joseph down there. And now it's 3rd down and 9.
And Kelvin Benjamin is thinking in the back of his mind, Jonathan Joseph is 5'11". I'm 6'5". Throw that ball a little bit short, give me a chance to make it a jump ball opportunity. I'm not going to outrun him, because when Jonathan Joseph came out of college, 13 years ago, he ran 4.3 at the combine. He still has that type of speed. But a jump ball situation, that's what Kelvin Benjamin wants on that last throw.
3rd down and 9 for Buffalo, and another flag and a false start against the Bills.
False start. Offense, number 62. 5-yard penalty. Still 3rd down.
3rd false start this season against the veteran left guard, Vlad Dukas.
And Andrew, I asked you as we were driving over to the stadium this morning, do you think they'll open the roof? I mean, it's a gorgeous day outside. But you said, well, crowd noise. You keep the crowd noise in by keeping the roof on top of the stadium closed, and if you thought it was loud last play, it's just going to get louder the more you move on offense.
And now 3rd down and 14. Allen over the middle, incomplete, a lot of contact. Bills sideline looking for a flag on Matthews. Zay Jones the intended target, but there's no call. And out comes the Buffalo punter, Corey Bojorquez.
That sure did look like it was early. Tyrann Mathieu, who is small but a big hitter, leveled Zay Jones is running just a basic square in.
Tyler Ervin back deep to receive the punt for the Texans. And the lefty punter trying to pin the Texans deep. And a great shot downfield by Taiwan Jones. Downs it at the 5. 16th punt this year inside the 20 for Bojorquez. As you see the contact on that 3rd down play, no call for the Bills. Deshaun Watson making the start at quarterback for the Texans today, despite a chest injury that limited him this week in practice. He's been averaging 375 yards a game over his last 2 starts. First time that he has won 2 straight in his young career. And this opening drive will be deep in Houston territory. 1st and 10 from the 5-yard line. And on 1st down, they hand it to Lamar Miller, and he gets a yard. Miller was active last week but did not play because of an injury to his chest. So he gets the first carry today behind an offensive line that saw 5 different combos in the first 5 games, but this is the same starting 5 that worked well last week in the win over Dallas. A play fake. Watson firing left, incomplete, looking for Will Fuller. And it was Philip Gaines who had the coverage, and now a late flag comes in. And I mean, very late, well after the play was over.
Take a look at DeAndre Hopkins' jersey. His right part of his jersey pulled off.
Holding. Defense, number 27. It's a 5-yard penalty. An automatic 1st down.
So that's on Tre'Davious White, and we're expecting to see a lot of that matchup today. Hopkins against White. And early on, a penalty against the 2nd-year man out of LSU. So that gives Houston a little breathing room. 1st down and 10. Up the middle goes Miller, hit hard by Milano, and brought down for a gain of 2. No team runs more no-huddle plays than the Texans, 89 this year, and they go no-huddle here. And you see the Bills' defense, a bit of a surprise on the inactive list. Ryan Lewis, who has been playing a lot of corner, is inactive today. Philip Gaines gets the start as Lamar Miller gets up to the 23-yard line, very close to a 1st down. So at corner today for Buffalo, it'll be a cornerback by committee, as Sean McDermott told us, of Philip Gaines and Dante Johnson. Again, Ryan Lewis inactive for Leslie Frazier, the defensive coordinator. That was good for a 1st down, 1st and 10. Here comes the blitz. Watson in trouble, and Watson is sacked. It was Raphael Bush and Kyle Williams combining on that sack for the Bills defense. Bush did not play last week because of a shoulder injury.
You get the pressure coming there off the slot. You know that your running back has to pick him up, and he doesn't get his body in front of him, just chips him a little bit with the shoulder, and he's right in the lap of Deshaun Watson.
Bush and Williams each get half a sack for Raphael Bush, now just 2.5 sacks in his career. A loss of 3. Milano coming. Watson in trouble again, and on the outside they get him with Kyle Williams. 2 plays, a sack and a half for the 13-year veteran Kyle Williams.
Tough thing for the quarterback. When you're in the pocket, you've got to be able to scan the field and see what's going on. And he looks to his left, and when he starts to come back and look to his right, Kyle Williams is right there. You see Davenport trying to pick him up, the blocking. Nobody blocked solidly on that last play for Deshaun Watson.
So 2 sacks for a loss of 9 yards. It's 3rd and 19. Quick pass to Kiki Kuti. And he is dragged down from behind. It was Lorenzo Alexander making the tackle. And out comes the punter, Trevor Daniels. So a great job by that Bills defense. As Sean McDermott told us, they've been preaching we got to win the line of scrimmage. And on that opening drive, there's no question the Bills won the battle and the line. Ray McLeod back deep to receive the punt from Daniel. McLeod calling for a fair catch. He lost it, muffed the football, still loose. And Brennan Scarlett seems to have it for the Texans. A huge special teams miscue by the rookie Ray McLeod. Another look.
You know, there's still always a huddle when you have a turnover. The officials are doing that because you can't advance a muff punt. So as soon as Scarlett has possession of the ball, that's where the ball is going to be given to the Houston Texans, not on the little dive that he got there where he got the extra 2 or 3 yards.
Just the second lost fumble this year by Buffalo. And the Houston offense goes right back out on the field at the Bills' 29-yard line. Lamar Miller running left. Gets around the edge, and Tre'Davious White is able to get him out of bounds with a flag coming in from the secondary. Gain of 5 if it stands, and it's going to be a hold against Houston.
Holding. Offense, number 10. It's a 10-yard penalty. Replay. First down.
It's on DeAndre Hopkins.
Yeah, Tre'Davious White does a nice job in just kind of beating him back inside. There's a hold right there. Micah Hyde gets held, and that's going to get called because you've got your hands outside the framework of the body. Take him down. It's a good run off the board.
First and 20 for the Texans. Pressure coming. Watson just gets rid of it to Jordan Akins. Akins hit hard by Eddie Yarbrough. And that was nearly another sack for the Bills defense. Instead, it's a gain of 6. It was Raphael Bush coming again.
You know, it's interesting. We thought in this ball game that the Houston Texans would put a lot of pressure on Josh Allen. And you can see what Sean McDermott and Leslie Frazier, the defensive coordinator for the Buffalo Bills, have decided to do. They decided to come with pressure, to come with the extra rushes, to make sure that Deshaun Watson, who came into this game a little dinged up, doesn't feel comfortable in the pocket.
Second down and 14. Texans are in field goal range for Fairbairn. Delayed handoff. Miller going nowhere. And it's Yarbrough again. A 3-yard loss and now a late flag on the field. It's in the secondary where Hopkins and White were matched up again.
And that flag was down on the 13-yard line, Andrew, on the far
There's no
sideline.
foul on the play as the action was legal. Third down.
So they're looking at illegal contact, but it was a draw, not a pass play.
Tre'Davious White has had the assignment all season long of matching up with the opponent's #1 receiver, and for the most part he's done a wonderful job. And a very tall task today against Hopkins, who so far has been held without a catch. It's third down and 18. Watson holding it for a while, now throws and completes it to QT. It's a first down for the Texans. Milano on the stop, but a gain of 22.
I talked to Wes Welker before the game, who was a standout slot receiver with the Miami Dolphins and then the New England Patriots. And he said when he went to work out QT, he said, you know, I saw him on film and I thought he was really good, but when I watched him in person and I watched how strong he was, how strong his hands were, all the little things, he said, we got to have this guy.
On first down, a handoff to Lamar Miller, and he gets a couple. And now this is a huge part of today's game, the red zone matchup between the Texans offense, which has the second worst touchdown percentage in the NFL, against a Buffalo defense that has not done a good job in the red zone this year either. Ranked number 29. This is something the Texans worked on all week at practice. A lot of chatter down here in Houston about how they get the red zone corrected. So Texans fans keeping a close eye right now on second down and 8. Watson empty backfield, throwing end zone. Hopkins has got it for the touchdown. What a catch! He's got unbelievable hands, and he shows them off right there.
You think that you have him covered. You know that you have the safety kind of cheating over in that direction. But one-on-one, throw the ball to your guy away from the defender.
Wow.
That's a catch that maybe one, let's see if I do the math right, out of the 64 starters in the National Football League is going to come down with. DeAndre Hopkins is going to come down with that because he may have the best hands available.
Hard to get on Tre'Davious White. I mean, that looked like good coverage and just a remarkable catch by DeAndre Hopkins. So off the fumble by Ray McCloud, it leads to 7 for the Texans.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by McDonald's new Trick Treat Win Game. No purchase necessary. Verizon, the best unlimited is on Verizon, America's most awarded network. And by Walt Disney World Resort.
Look inside Space Center Houston, about 45 minutes southeast of us here at NRG Stadium. 3rd touchdown catch this season for DeAndre Hopkins, and the Bills with a new return man back there because Ray McCloud, not only did he fumble the opening kickoff, which the Bills recovered, but then he muffed the punt. So Tywan Jones, who's also a very capable kick returner, is back deep for this one instead of McCloud. And Jones will take this one from the 2. Jones to the 20 and tackled at the 23-yard line. Well, Sabine Pass High School was forced to cancel their football season this year, partly due to a lack of players in the aftermath of Hurricane Harvey, which hit the area very hard last year. Yesterday, the Texans invited some players and coaches to their facilities. They got to meet the team, take a tour, watch practice. The team even surprised head coach Jason Thibodeau with 2 tickets to Super Bowl 53. And pregame, they were out here on the field. A great gesture by the Texans, who invited the kids from Sabine Pass to be here today. Their season was canceled about a week ago, and for those seniors, they won't play any more high school football games. So the Bills offense back to work with Allen looking to throw on 1st down, and he steps up and slides down at the 27-yard line. First time in J.J. Watt's career he has gone against the most sacked quarterback in the NFL. Allen's been sacked a league-high 19 times. On 2nd and 8, it's McCoy with some room to run. And McCoy with a Buffalo 1st down, tackled by Zach Cunningham. A gain of 9 for McCoy.
You know, you were talking about J.J. Watt and the most sacked quarterback. They use that aggressiveness against him because he charges up the field, leaves a huge gap, and they run right in that gap. If he closes that play down a little bit, then he stops the run, but he's thinking of his arc to try and get after the quarterback while he's back there in the gun position.
Still looking for his 1st touchdown of the season, LaShawn McCoy. Hand off here, running right, and runs into a wall. No gain on the play from McCoy. Watt, one of the first to get there for the Texans.
Well, on the previous play, you fooled J.J. Watt a little bit. Now you're going to try and run at him the 2nd time, Andrew. And I don't think you're going to fool him twice. What is that? Fool me once, shame on. All of that. Yeah.
Well, the big problem there for the Bills also, no gain on 1st down. And as you pointed out in the open, that's a big problem for Buffalo this year. They average 2.9 yards per 1st down play. Lowest of any team since 1991. The league average is 5.7 yards on 1st down. So they don't get any on 1st. Now they get 2 on 2nd, and this has been the problem. For Buffalo, it's 3rd and long. They average 3rd and 8.9, which is also the worst in the NFL.
And that run on 2nd and long, that's the patience that you have to have when you have a young quarterback. The very first play of the series, they try to pass. Quarterback Josh Allen pulled the ball down, ran with it. So right here on 3rd down, he continually has to be smart with the football and make a good decision.
Kareem Jackson playing corner in this nickel defense today for the Texans. Play clock at 3. Allen in trouble, spins and is sacked. It was Benardrick McKinney getting back there first for Houston.
The pressure is getting there quickly, but even sooner than that, Josh Allen is taking his eyes off The guy's down the field, and he's starting to look at the rush that's around him, and he's trying to look for a run lane to escape the pocket. You're not going to be able to do that with 5 pass rushers.
And McKinney will share that sack with Jadeveon Clowney, who finished off Allen on 3rd and long. So now here's Bojorquez punting for the second time. Irvin drifting over to his right from his own 19, nowhere to go. And out of bounds at the 20. Good coverage downfield by Lafayette Pitts. 7-0 Texans first quarter. In the baseball hat left of your screen, that's the newest Bill quarterback Derek Anderson, who was signed this week. He's inactive today. He was basically brought to the team in order to give a veteran voice to that young quarterback room of Josh Allen and Nathan Peterman. And we met with Josh Allen last night, and he said that even it's only been a few days, Anderson has been a huge help for him. And he told us that he envisioned today, and that's exactly what he did, coming right off the field and going right to Derek Anderson to talk about the last series. Now, Brian Dable, the offensive coordinator, said sometimes it means more coming from a player, as Watson's pass is broken up by Gaines. Great job by Philip Gaines to get a hand on that one as we check in with New York for the first time today. An update with JB and Coach Cowher.
Cincy will need more of this.
Yeah, watch Andy Dalton rifle this right into Tyler Boyd from 2 yards out as they strike first in this AFC North matchup. They lead Pittsburgh 7-0.
Back to Andrew Catalon and James Lofton.
All right, guys, thank you very much. 7-0 here in Houston. Texans in front with a minute to go in the opening quarter. 2nd and 10. It's Blue. Alfred Blue spun down for a yard. But James, just going back to Derek Anderson, what do you think a veteran voice like that will mean for the rookie Allen?
You know, when you do have somebody who's been there, done that, but he has to have that credibility. And you can't just say, well, oh, he was in Carolina for the last couple of years and he helped Cam Newton out. He's got to be convincing. And Josh Allen said when he arrived to work the first day that Derek Anderson was there, Derek Anderson was already there, had finished lifting weights, had been watching film. So he's going, wow, this guy's doing all this and I just got to work.
False start. Offense, number 73. 5-yard penalty. Still 3rd down.
First penalty this season on Zach Fulton, and both offensive lines continue to struggle here in the opening quarter. Each team has been penalized 3 times here in the first quarter. Final 30 seconds. 3rd and 13 for Deshaun Watson. Watson hit hard and incomplete. And a late flag. Jerry Hughes is the one who hit Watson. The flag is down in the secondary.
Prior to the pass, holding. Defense, number 27. The 5-yard penalty and an automatic first down.
That's a big penalty on Tre'Davious White. It moves the chains for the Texans.
You know, it's nice that the Texans are going to pick up a first down here, but I'm watching this offensive line play. False starts and then not being able to pick up blitzers from the secondary. They're not communicating. Not only are they not listening to the quarterback in the snap count, they're not communicating with each other to get the secondary blitzes, because you've got 5 guys blocking 4, and when that 5th guy comes, you've got to be able to account for him.
That was a borderline call at best on Tre'Davious White as Alfred Blue breaks free to the 2nd level. All the way up to the 39-yard line, a gain of 17. It matches his longest run of the season. We're through 1 in Houston. Texans lead the Bills 7-0 on CBS.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. And by Taco Bell's Triple Double Crunchwrap Box.
Oh, that's a nasty look from my partner, James Lofton. Hall of Famer, former Buffalo Bill.
I thought I was smiling all the time.
I've never really seen that side of you before, and now I'm actually a little concerned being next to you. As we start the second quarter, the Bills have they could use you back in there. They've only scored 13 points in their last 11 quarters. Another blank quarter for Buffalo, down 7-0. It's a pitch to Blue running left and hit hard out of bounds at the 41. Some of your Fond memories from playing with the Bills?
You know, I went there late in my career. And the fact that we won so much at home was just incredible. And 2 years in a row, we were 13-2 with the last game of the year to be played, which we didn't need to win. And there was one season we were favored in every ball game that we played. I never witnessed anything like that before.
Now, we met with Josh Allen last night. He had a lot of praise for Buffalo fans who just do a tremendous job each and every Sunday. He's already found that out in a hurry here in his first season in Buffalo. It'll be 3rd down and long for the Texans. Deshaun Watson has started 6 of 7 for 62 yards and a touchdown. We still have not seen him run at all. And with the chest injury, questionable to play today, limited in practice. I don't know how much we are going to see of that with Deshaun Watson. They have to be very careful, is what Bill O'Brien told us when we met with him on Friday. Watson. And it's incomplete. He felt the pressure from behind. And a good job by the Buffalo defense. Hughes and Williams applying the pressure.
And Jerry Hughes just continues to work. He goes inside. It's a end tackle stunt where the end is going inside the tackle. Kyle Williams is looping around to the outside, and they both get to the quarterback, Deshaun Watson, about the same time.
So now the Bills have put their safe punt returner back there, and Micah Hyde. He's got the good hands. Remember, Ray McLeod lost a punt earlier. This one's well short by Daniel. Out of bounds at around the 30-yard line. So not Daniel's best effort. Bills offense going back to work when we come back. Josh Allen has started 3 of 6 for 33 yards with his new teammate watching closely from the sideline. Derek Anderson signed on Tuesday, 4th NFL team. Sean McDermott knows him from his days in Carolina. Brian Daboll, the offensive coordinator, also knows him from his time in Cleveland. So Anderson brought on to help out this rookie quarterback, Allen, who starts this drive at the 34-yard line. And on 1st down, a handoff to Chris Ivory, who gets a yard. So many young players on this Buffalo team, and that is why on Thursday Bruce Smith was in Buffalo and Sean McDermott asked him to speak to the team, and Sean McDermott told us the message really was winning the week, winning Tuesday, Wednesday. That is what Bruce Smith told the team about how preparation and film study and taking care of your body is so important during the week so that when you come on Sunday, you're ready to go. And Sean McDermott said it was such a great message with so many young players on this roster to hear. As they send it to another one of those young players, Ray McLeod.
Just a note on Bruce Smith. We had those Stairmaster machines that you see in the health club where you get on them and they kind of just roll as a kind of a treadmill, but there's stair steps. Bruce Smith broke 2 of those. And didn't break them because he was big. He broke them because he used them so much. I mean, he would go out to practice. He'd come in and get on that Stairmaster, and there'd be a huge pool of sweat below it. You talk about work. He worked off the field. He worked on the field. He worked in the classroom, in the meetings. That's how he got 200 sacks.
On 3rd and 5, Allen fires, caught by Clay for a 1st down. Big play on 3rd down for Buffalo to keep the drive alive. Gain of 8 for Charles Clay.
You know, you always talk about strong arms, but this is just a little flick of the wrist, like you're throwing a little dart at a dartboard, and he just muscles this ball right into Clay in between 2 defenders. Nice throw on 3rd down for the rookie.
Clay has a total of 9 catches coming into the day. He's already got 3 here in the 1st half. McCoy back in it, running back. It's a play fake. Watt is coming. Allen going the wrong way, gets rid of it, and completes it to Logan Thomas. No gain on the play, but a great job by Allen to avoid that sack. But James, as you pointed out with the Bills coaches last night, that's been a problem for Allen. He goes backwards too much.
He's going backwards here, and once again, this demonstrates arm strength. Because as you're going backwards, as you're throwing off the wrong foot, to even get this ball 25 yards down the field on a line to get it near the 1st down marker to Logan Thomas, is a pretty incredible throw.
Brian Dable acknowledged that's something they've been working on with Allen, not to go directly backwards on those plays. It's a screen to Clay, his fourth catch, and tackled immediately by Sharice Wright, the former Buffalo Bill, who's played 12 games for the Bills last season.
That is a very physical play by Sharice Wright. I remember when we were out at practice, he has that left hand with kind of right hand with a little bit of a cast on it. I remember watching him, and he's just jamming the guys. And normally when you have a cast on hand, you're trying to avoid contact. He wasn't avoiding contact at all in practice on Friday. You saw how physical he was on that last play right there.
He was playing with a sprained thumb. That's the reason for the cast. And now 3rd down and 9 for the Bills. 2 for 4 on 3rd downs today. Allen throws left, incomplete. Was looking for Zay Jones, and it was the veteran Jonathan Joseph who had the coverage for Houston.
Got one-on-one matchups with all three of your wide receivers. And Jonathan Joseph, who has been around a long time, he understands route combinations, down and distance and all that. And he's ready to break on this ball as soon as that receiver drops his arms a little bit to indicate that he's about to break down in his route.
Still no catches today for Kelvin Benjamin as the Bills punt for the 3rd time, and it's blocked. Deflected on the play. Another special teams play by the Texans, and Scarlett once again picks up the loose ball, just like he did on the McLeod fumble. Terrell Adams got a piece of it for Houston, and Scarlett recovers.
Such a huge turn of events. The Texans' last scoring drive came off of a turnover in the special teams area. So now you start on this super short field, 21-yard line, right outside the red zone. You have to be thinking touchdown. You have to execute down here.
Terrell Edmonds playing in just his 14th NFL game. Made his Houston debut last week. He blocked it. Scarlett recovers his 2nd fumble of the day, and the Texans take over at the 21-yard line. Wow, Watson fell. Hopkins throwing. DeAndre Hopkins incomplete. Looking for Lamar Miller. So Houston attempts a trick play, but it doesn't work, and that snap was messed up there as Watson went to the ground.
Watson gets his foot stepped on. Watch his left foot. You're going to get that foot stepped on. Once you do that, he can't pull out from underneath the center, but he gets the ball to DeAndre Hopkins, who then throws it where he's supposed to throw it. But that's pretty good coverage in the secondary by the Buffalo Bills.
First NFL pass attempt for DeAndre Hopkins. He was 0 for 3 passing in his career at Clemson, so still yet to complete a pass. Another tough snap. Miller going the wrong way, able to get away, but then taken down at the 27-yard line by Tre'Davious White. And a loss of 5. And even though they were not in the red zone, they started the drive at the 21. These are the types of plays that have haunted Houston in the red zone, going backwards, negative plays.
And a couple things for Bill O'Brien right now, and the thing that he should remind Watson on after he makes the play call is don't lose any yardage. Because right now you're at the edge of that field goal range. You don't want to have a 10-yard sack here where now all of a sudden your kicker, who realizes that you had the ball at the 21-yard line, you had a chip shot, now you would have a long 40, 50-yard field goal attempt.
3rd down and 15. Watson over the middle, wide open. Hopkins to the 15-yard line and tackled short of a 1st down. Taron Johnson, the impressive rookie, helping make the tackle with Matt Milano, and it's 4th down.
And there was some thinking going on the sideline before the field goal unit was sent out. But yeah, take the 3 points, get up 10-0. But a nice job by Hopkins and Watson and just connecting, getting something and making it an easier field goal attempt for your kicker.
So for Fairbairn, it's a 33-yard attempt. He's the first kicker with game-winning overtime field goals in back-to-back games since David Akers of the Eagles in 2000. And off the turnover, the Texans had 3 more points. It's now 10-0 Houston. Texans in front of the Bills 10-0. Tomorrow, Cedric the Entertainer and Max Greenfield star in the new comedy The Neighborhood. Tomorrow at 8/7 Central, only CBS. Mentioned going to break, the Texans added a field goal off the turnover. Technically, the block punt by Adams not a turnover, but the special teams miscue does lead to a short field and 3 points for the Texans. So now you look at the Bills special teams today. They fumbled the opening kickoff, recovered it, fumbled a punt and lost it, and had a punt block. So a rough day for Danny Crossman's special teams unit so far. It's a touchback for Fairbairn, and out comes Josh Allen. Last week, the Bills ran the ball 43 times and only attempted 20 passes. Today, they've actually thrown more than they have run it. Allen has started 7 of 11 for 44 yards.
And a lot of those passes are in the short passing area. That 0 to 8 yards down the field. You had the one throw across the field to LaShawn McCoy where he gained 22 yards. But everything else has been under 10 yards other than one deep shot that he took to Kelvin Benjamin.
Allen, there is Benjamin with his first catch today, and tackled at the 30 by Jonathan Joseph.
Just a quick out. If you have your route tree, that's called a one route, where all the odd numbers break to the outside. The route tree goes a lot past 9. When I was playing, it only went to 9. I think it goes up to about 54 now. The tree has a lot of leaves and branches on it.
There's McCoy, and he gets a couple. It'll be 3rd down and short. Kelvin Benjamin's kind of been missing in action so far this season. Only 8 catches on the year coming into the game. And in his last 2 games, he was targeted 11 times and only had 2 catches. So it's clear that Allen and Benjamin have not really found that connection, at least to this point.
And if you go back to Kelvin Benjamin's rookie year, in 2014, when he caught 73 passes, had 1,000 yards, 9 touchdowns, you thought, here's a guy who's going to be one of those top receivers that you're going to continually talk about.
See what the Bills do here on 3rd and 2. Allen steps up. He's going to keep it himself. A flag is down. Allen has the first if this play stands. Whitney merciless on the tackle, but let's see what the penalty is. Bills are walking backwards. This could be a hold.
Holding. Offense, number 66. 10-yard penalty replay, 3rd down.
Second time this year, Russell Bodine, the center, has been called for holding.
You will hear the casual fan say, well, you could call holding every play. Yeah, not really. What happens is offensive linemen are allowed to grab. When that quarterback or the running back changes holes, makes a jump cut, then the defender starts to go in that direction, and you get outside the framework of their body, that's where you get the holding call. So, yes, they're going to grab, which is legal, but when they start to move away from you, you got to let go.
It was DJ Reader who he grabbed onto, and now it's 3rd and 12. Allen, Watt got him! J.J. Watt with his 7th sack of the year.
Now, let me see if I have this correct, Andrew. You can try and double-team DeAndre Hopkins when you're throwing him the ball. That doesn't work. You can try and double-team J.J. Watt with 2 blockers. That doesn't work. It's hard when you have these superstar guys, either on offense or defense, to find a way to stop them.
So another punt for Corey Bojorquez with a flag down. This one bounces at midfield, takes a Buffalo hop all the way back to the 34-yard line, but the penalty is back toward the line of scrimmage. A 54-yard punt for Bojorquez. Going to be a penalty on Buffalo, so more special teams issues for the Bills.
Prior to the punt, holding. Offense, number 44. That penalty's half the distance to the goal. Replay, 4th down.
Dion Lacey called for the penalty, and Bill O'Brien is going to make The Bills punt again.
Well, you have a punter who just hit a punt. Now you're going to march this ball back to about the 5.5-yard line. He's going to be standing really close to that end line. So you get a bad snap or you get to rush him a little bit. Now Tyler Ervin realizes, number 21 back, I'm going to move up a little bit. He probably won't nail one over my head. If I can field this cleanly, we can pick up about 20 yards in field position here.
Bojorquez from his own end zone. Gets this one away. It's a good punt. Ervin back to his own 36-yard line and tackled by Ramon Humber. So that was a great punt by Bojorquez, but on the previous play, it was J.J. Watt with sack number 7 this year.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Progressive Insurance, handing off big savings to you. Pepsi, the official soft drink of the NFL. And by FedEx, possibilities, what we deliver by delivering.
Jeff Bagwell statue. Astros fans here in Houston all pumped up. They won game 1 of the ALCS last night over the Red Sox. How about pregame? Bernardrick McKinney, a deep drive to left field with the pylon.
Texans were calling it right there.
Texans were having a lot of fun. Pregame, J.J. Watt spent a good half hour having a catch with as many fans in the stands as he could. On first down, it is Lamar Miller getting the carry, and Miller running it out for 9 yards. The average starting field position for the Texans today has been their own 43-yard line. So they've had that battle won in terms of field position so far in this first half.
If you are on the Buffalo Bills, you're getting a little winded because you've been on the field a lot in pressure situations where you're trying to keep them out of the end zone. They did on the last drive after the block punt.
Watson has time, taking a deep shot for Fuller, incomplete. Micah Hyde was the man back there for the Bills, and Watson just overthrew the speedy Fuller.
Watson would have loved to have laid this ball in here, but you mentioned Micah Hyde at the tail end. The objective for the safety is as deep as the deepest, and that time maybe a half stride where he's overrun, but he couldn't drop the ball in there and drop it in there short because Micah Hyde appeared in his vision.
Texans have 3 very fast receivers in Fuller, Hopkins, and QT. We asked Kiki QT Friday who would win in a race between the 3 of you. He said, "Are you kidding? Will Fuller would blow us away." That's how fast Fuller is. Watson in trouble, steps up. Now running left and tripped up from behind. It was Milano who tripped him up from behind, but Watson falling forward and picks up the first down.
Last week against the Dallas Cowboys, there were 2 runs inside the 10-yard line where Watson just got walloped trying to get in the end zone. And that's what you have to be willing to do to pick up a first down, to pick up a touchdown, to put your body a little bit at risk. And you saw him dive forward and got an injury. Murphy, who had an ACL injury coming in, I don't know what this injury is right here, but you know, when somebody's been injured before, you kind of hold your breath for him.
Yeah, ACL last year cost him his whole season, and he didn't play in the preseason for Buffalo because of a groin injury. So Murphy walks slowly to the Buffalo sideline. 2.5 sacks to start the year for Murphy. Bills do have some added depth up front now. The addition of Jordan Phillips, who was claimed off waivers from the Dolphins. And also they've been using Shaq Lawson at times on the inside. Right now it's Phillips, number 97, in there, and Lawson on the outside. And Miller on the carry. Miller all the way to the 40-yard line. A gain of 9 for Lamar Miller, who, as we mentioned, did not play last week. Miller has looked good here today.
And just like you like your offensive line to be a cohesive unit, you'd like your defensive front to be the same. And when you have to take a couple players out and move them around, you don't have that same continuity and communication.
4 minutes to go first half. Miller trying to pick up the first down. He cannot. It was Phillips, who we just mentioned, making the tackle, and it's 3rd and short.
So now you look at this 3rd and 2. 25 years ago, this is a rundown. Now it's a pass down, all the options, especially when you have quarterbacks who can be the additional runner and make something happen as soon as I say that and line up right under the center.
It's Alfred Blue, the running back. 3rd down and 1. Blue right up the middle. He's got the first down. Micah Hyde came crashing down, got in the backfield, but Blue ran right past him to move the chains. Alfred Blue, 20 carries in the win last Sunday night against the Cowboys. He also had a career-high 8 catches for 73 yards. He was the workhorse for Deshaun Watson and the offense in the absence of Lamar Miller. Texans very balanced on offense in the first half. 13 running plays, 13 pass attempts. With 2:40 to go. Watson to Hopkins for a Houston first down. Tre'Davious White had the coverage once again. A gain of 14 for DeAndre Hopkins.
I would guess the first time that DeAndre Hopkins got a chance to play, he was supposed to throw the ball one time maybe to DeAndre Hopkins. He came to the sideline and he said, how come you didn't throw it to him? Well, he was covered. Okay, but how come you didn't throw it to him? Because when he is covered, he's still open. He has such great hands, great body positioning. He shielded the defender on his shoulder. And that's a ball that you don't think can be completed, but it gets completed.
4 catches, 39 yards, and a touchdown so far for Hopkins. 2-minute warning here in Houston.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by The Home Depot. More saving, more doing. And by KFC. It's finger licking good.
Coming up on the Verizon Halftime Report, join JB, Phil, Nate Boomer, and Coach Cower. All the latest NFL scores and highlights coming up on the Verizon Halftime Report. 1st and 10 for the Texans from the Buffalo 24-yard line. It's Lamar Miller with a hole on the right side, and Miller continues his hard running here in the first half. A gain of 8. Taron Johnson on the tackle.
This is the definition of a downhill run, when you can just take the ball, go forward to the line. You don't even have to make a cut. Great movement up front by the offensive line.
Both teams have all 3 timeouts remaining. Watson, pressure coming, stays on his feet, and now he goes down with the ball out. Ball is still loose, and Sunil Kelemete, the left guard, finally scoops it up for the Texans.
Short drop back, just kind of a 3-step drop out, and you see Deshaun Watson in there, and then Kyle Williams comes in and knocks the ball away. They're fortunate to get this back because it laid there, it seemed like forever.
Alexander hit Watson low. Kyle Williams the forced fumble, but Kelemete recovers. Neither team calling timeout here. I get it from the Texans. Bills might have thought about trying to call a timeout there to save some clock on 3rd and 14. Watson is escaping, gets away from Murphy, and Watson on the run, throws, intercepted. Jordan Poyer in the end zone. And Poyer will go down. What a wild play. Looked like Watson was sacked. Somehow he gets away and then throws a pick in the end zone. 2nd this year for Jordan Poyer. And Deshaun Watson now has 1 interception in 8 straight games. The longest active streak in the NFL. The Bills get the ball back. Don't forget, coming up, Verizon Halftime Report. Our guys back in New York with scores and highlights on the Verizon Halftime Report. Bills defense has done a great job today, keeping this one close. And now Buffalo gets the ball back at their own 20, all 3 timeouts. Let's see how they play it. Allen screen to McCoy. McCoy loses 4 yards on the play. And Sean McDermott is not calling timeout. He may just want his team to go into the locker room. You wonder if Houston should use a few of these timeouts, but Bill O'Brien is not using it either, so this could be a very anticlimactic end to the first half.
And when you go back to the Texans' last drive, they had a 2nd and 2 in their red zone, then a sack, fumble, and then on 3rd down, their quarterback running out of bounds tries to throw the ball back across the field and essentially taking 3 points off the scoreboard for the Houston Texans at the minimum.
Deshaun Watson, a little cut on his elbow. He saw some blood they're trying to clean up. Does not appear to be anything major. We've hit halftime here with the Texans leading 10-0. Halftime next after these first half highlights from Verizon and a word from your local station.
Want more stats? Hey Siri, who leads the league in passing yards?
DeAndre Hopkins doing it all here in the first half for the Texans, even the halftime entertainment as Houston leads Buffalo 10-0. A look at the first half numbers and the late interception, the first turnover today by the Texans. The offensive numbers not pretty for the Buffalo Bills. Back in the booth with the former Bill and the Hall of Famer James Lofton, I'm Andrew Catalon. Buffalo ran 10 plays in the second quarter and they gained a total of 7 yards. How did they get this offense going in the second half?
Well, at halftime, they've all gone into their own little corners, the running backs, the receivers, the tight ends, trying to figure out what would work. You know, they hadn't really sampled a lot of what they had game planned coming into this week's game. So some of those first 20 plays are probably still on the board, plays that they've practiced a lot, and they don't want to go off script too much because you do have a young rookie quarterback and you want to be able to run some of the things that he's very comfortable with. Now he's going to have to sit there for a while the Houston Texans offense takes the field.
Texans do get the ball first as Tyler Ervin awaits the kickoff from Stephen Hauschka. And it will be a touchback. Well, for Deshaun Watson, he has thrown an interception in each game this season, and 4 of the 6 picks have come in the opponent's end zone. The latest one today here late in the first half when Jordan Poyer intercepted him in the end zone.
And I think that one against Poyer to end the half, he's really going to kick himself over because they really had a solid chance to get 3 points out of that drive and to really finish off the drive with a little bit of momentum and going to halftime feeling a little bit better about themselves.
Meanwhile, another special teams penalty on Buffalo. They were called for offside on the kickoff.
It's supposed to stand there and wait till he kicks it.
So now it'll be first down from the 30-yard line for the Texans, and Watson in the shotgun. Handing off on first down. It is Alfred Blue on the carry, and he picks up 5.
Nice sign for the Buffalo Bills right there because Trent Murphy, we saw him limp off, back on the field and back on that last tackle.
Murphy in his first season for Sean McDermott. Watson looking Hopkins' way, incomplete. It was Tre'Davious White on the coverage. And it brings up 3rd down and 5. Deshaun Watson with that chest injury that limited him at practice this week said he told us he would not be wearing any extra protection. He said he felt good.
Right.
But what is he going to say? I don't think he's going to tell us if he feels bad. But Bill O'Brien, as we mentioned earlier, did say that we had to be careful with Watson today, and we have not seen him scramble or have any of those design runs that we've grown accustomed to when watching these Texans play so far this year. On 3rd and 5, Watson pass deflected and picked off! Intercepted! It's Lorenzo Alexander! He was the one that tipped it, and he's the one that picks it off. His 2nd career interception.
In the Buffalo Bills, they did what moment? Remember against the Minnesota Vikings, they went to Minnesota, beat them 27-6. They got turnovers. You get a turnover to take 3 points off the scoreboard for the Texans at the end of the first half. Now you get a turnover in your own area. And so where does Josh Allen go with this football? Does he use Charles Clay and LaShawn McCoy, or does he throw to some of these receivers on the outside?
Watson now has 2 interceptions on his last 3 pass attempts. Bills take over in great field position. McCoy running left, gets away from Clowney. McCoy out of bounds, chased out by McKinney. But a nice play on first down for the Bills, something they have struggled with, getting yards on first down, a gain of 6. As Watson talks with quarterbacks coach Sean Ryan on the Houston bench.
Good start for the Buffalo Bills, 5+ yards on that first down carry. It opens up the playbook. There's a lot more plays listed 2nd and 3 to 6 than there are 2nd and 12+.
McCoy again, and LeSean McCoy inside the 20 for a Buffalo first down. Zach Cunningham on the tackle, and the Bills now in the red zone. First half possessions for Buffalo were not pretty, as you see right there, but they have great field position now after the Alexander interception, trying to take advantage. Just the 5th first down for Buffalo today.
One of the things you talk about, the field shrinking. Look how close the defenders are to the line of scrimmage.
McCoy, not this time. Tripped up before the line of scrimmage, and it's 2nd down. This season in the red zone, the Bills score a touchdown 50% of the time. And the Texans' red zone defense has struggled, tied for 27th, allowing a touchdown 75% of the time. So there's Brian Daboll in his first year as the Bills offensive coordinator, matched up with one of his mentors. It was Romeo Crennel, who hired him to be the offensive coordinator in Kansas City when Crennel was the head coach there.
I love big versus little. Kelvin Benjamin as big as they get at wide receiver.
Allen now rolling right. Allen will tuck it and keep it himself, and he takes a big pop. That was Zach Cunningham, the linebacker, laying one on Josh Allen.
Andrew, I always think it's a little bit unfair when linebackers wear 40 numbers because they're not defensive backs, and out of the corner of your eye, you're the quarterback, you run, oh, that's a 40 number, that's a secondary guy. No, that's a big middle linebacker that you're about to run into.
So now it's 3rd down and 10. The ball is at the Houston 19-yard line. Bills are 2 for 6 on 3rd downs. Andre Holmes in motion.
Clowney on each side.
Allen steps up, and Allen keeps it again to the 10, and Josh Allen scrambles for the first down. We saw him last week against Tennessee scramble and score a touchdown. This time he gets the first. It's 1st and goal.
Just fearless. He looked to his left, came back to his right, didn't like what he saw, and it's not, okay, who's my first, who's my second, who's my third? It's probably 1-2 run for Josh Allen, and very aggressive taking off with the football.
An 11-yard run, the longest run today by the Bills. 1st and goal. Ball at the 8-yard line. McCoy cuts it back, and McCoy inside the 5. LeSean McCoy, this is tied for the longest drought of his career. He's gone 6 straight games without a rushing touchdown. Still looking for his first score of 2018, and he's going to come out for 2nd and goal as Chris Ivory comes in. Patrick DeMarco, the fullback. We're good. Allen looking to throw. Allen to Zay Jones, one-handed no, incomplete. Kareem Jackson on the coverage. James, it looked like Zay Jones had a step there, but the pass didn't get there in time.
It was one of the examples of the quarterback putting maybe a little bit too much touch on the ball, because we all know that Josh Allen has this Super Bowl fire throwing arm, and that time he took a little bit too much off, allowed the defender to get in there and just off the fingertips of Zay Jones.
McCoy back in the game, in motion on 3rd and goal. McCoy now next to Allen. Allen chased out. Pump fakes. Now fires. Broken up. Kareem Jackson got a hand on that one. And if he didn't, Zay Jones was alone in the back of the end zone. Kareem Jackson continues to make plays. His 6th pass defense of the year.
Houston spies with Benardrick McKinney. He's matching Allen man to man. Doesn't let him get away, because Allen, once he broke the pocket, saw McKinney and said, I can't run it in. I've got to try and throw it in. Nice job by Romeo Crennel realizing the situation and where their quarterback had hurt them with his scramble, with his legs.
So now a 22-yard field goal attempt for Stephen Hauschka, who's made 20 in a row from inside 50 yards, now 21. His third longest active streak in the NFL as Hauschka puts the Bills on the board. Allen and McKinney having a word. It's a 10-3 game. Hauschka's field goal puts Buffalo on the board. And they now trail by 7, 10-12 to go, third quarter, with Tyler Ervin back deep to receive the kickoff. Both these teams with 2 and 3 records, a chance to get to 500 with a victory. As Hauschka's kick bounces in the end zone, it's a touchback. How about the matchup, James Lofton? DeAndre Hopkins and Tre'Davious White.
And it's little things for DeAndre Hopkins, trying to get that position against Tre'Davious White off the line of scrimmage, trying to make sure that he's in the right location. Because he's not just going to flat out run him, but if he can get to the spot that he wants to get to on the field, he has a chance to make some plays and make some catches. And when you look at the numbers between the two of them, really so far in this ball game, Tre'Davious White is handling him because Hopkins is coming in off of back-to-back 150-yard games.
7 targets for Hopkins, 4 catches going against Tre'Davious White. Watson in trouble again and brought down. Shaq Lawson with the sack. And that's the 4th sack today by the Buffalo defense.
Trying to get a little bit of play action and throw the ball a little deeper down the field. And the protection just isn't holding up. But in addition to that, there's good coverage in the Buffalo Bills secondary.
First sack this season for Lawson, 7th of his career. It's a screen to Miller. And Lamar Miller running through the Bills defense. Big pickup for Lamar Miller, 16 yards and a first down.
You fake the toss or the quick pass to Keke Coutee one way. He actually did it without the ball in his hand. So when he did that, you saw the hard motion going to the left, coming back with the screen to the right.
It's Miller, and not much doing. We showed you the sack by Shaq Lawson. Well, him and DeAndre Hopkins go all the way back to Daniel High School in Central South Carolina. That's Hopkins passing to Lawson, who throws it down. They were teammates on the football field and on the basketball court. They won a state title in basketball. Both ended up going to Clemson as well. So a long history between DeAndre Hopkins and Shaq Lawson. 2nd and 8. And Tremaine Edmonds, we have not called his name too much today. The rookie middle linebacker making the tackle after a gain of 4. This Bills defense has done a tremendous job today, keeping this game close. And now trying to get the Houston offense off the field on 3rd and 4.
Coutee, your slot receiver, got to find a way to use him on 3rd down.
Watson, and that pass is caught by Blue, but short of a first down. Lorenzo Alexander with the tackle. It's 4th and a long one, and Bill O'Brien reluctantly sends out his punt team.
And you could see the frustration on Bill O'Brien's face because the play that he called, he had a chance to get the ball to Coutee. There was a little rub route between Hopkins and Coutee, but Tre'Davious White did a great job in peeling off of Hopkins and picking up Coutee.
Once again, it's Micah Hyde back deep. Have not seen Ray McLeod since the fumbled punt in the first quarter. Hyde lets this one bounce, and it's down around the 10-yard line. Let's see where they actually spot that one, but a good punt by Trevor Daniel.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by State Farm, here to help life go right. United States Air Force. Experience more at airforce.com. And by T-Mobile, America's most loved wireless brand.
Families affected by Hurricane Michael urgently need support. Help the American Red Cross provide meals and shelter to these families. You can donate today by going to redcross.org or text Michael to 90999 to give $10 to American Red Cross Hurricane Relief. Last year, Hurricane Harvey in Houston, J.J. Watt raising $41 million. Jerry Hughes, who's from the Houston area here in Sugar Land, also was able to raise money for relief victims of Hurricane Harvey. And on first down, Buffalo going the wrong way. And that is Chris Ivory. This Bills offense needs to try to get in gear. Just 79 yards of offense with 7 minutes to go in the third quarter.
And not so much even thinking about scoring touchdowns at the end of a drive, but really shifting field position, because if you continually give the Texans great field position, they're going to come up with something, because they have too much talent offensively that they've been able to display so far coming into this ball game, that they're going to get a big play at some point. So you want to get going if you're the Buffalo Bills.
Defenses have reigned supreme so far today. Allen is going to try to run again and caught from behind by J.J. Watt. Watt tripped him up, but Allen was able to get 5 on the play.
But we saw down near the goal line when the Houston Texans used a spy to watch Josh Allen and Benardrick McKinney. I believe you're going to have to do that again, because he's such a big threat. Once he pulls that ball down, if he had gotten out of that tackle from J.J. Watt, that would have been a 20, 25-yard gain.
Bills trying to avoid a 3-and-out coming into the game. 34% of their drives go 3-and-out, the most in the NFL. 3rd and 6. Allen in trouble. Watt missed him. Flag is down. Allen buying time. Throws on the run for Benjamin, and he's got it. What a catch by Kelvin Benjamin, but will it stand? The flag is back at the line of scrimmage. A 42-yard pickup for Benjamin. And Watt is a little shaken up on that play.
Illegal formation. Offense. Number 42 coming up, eligible receiver number 80. It's a 5-yard penalty replay.
Wow,
3rd down.
Just a gigantic penalty against Patrick DeMarco that wipes out that 42-yard gain.
Patrick DeMarco is kind of on the outside. He's going to help the tackles. He's going to help against the pass rush. Lined up a little too close to the line of scrimmage. Your helmet can't break the plane of the guys who are on the line of scrimmage. That is a backbreaker after that fantastic throw by Josh Allen and a terrific catch by Kelvin Benjamin on the other end.
And Watt appears to be shaken up, not out there for now. This 3rd and 11 play. And they're going to run it with McCoy. McCoy following Deion Dawkins, and he is tackled short of a 1st down. Zach Cunningham on the tackle after a gain of 8. And Sean McDermott sends out his punter. This will be punt number 4 for Bojorquez, with Irvin awaiting it at his own 45. Irvin with a flag down. And Irvin taken down by Lafayette Pitts. We do have another penalty with 4:28 to go in the third quarter. A 43-yard punt by Bojorquez.
During the kick, illegal block in the back. Return team number 43. It's a 10-yard penalty from the end of the kick. 1st down. Timeout.
Penalty on Sharice Wright of the Texans. You're watching the NFL on CBS. Josh Allen thought he had a big play to Kelvin Benjamin. A 42-yard pickup wiped out by the penalty on Patrick DeMarco. We'll show you that to you in a moment. But right now the Texans take over at their own 31. 1st down and 10 for Deshaun Watson, who has thrown 2 interceptions today. Watson, and it's broken up. All right, James, let's go back to the penalty. An illegal formation called against DeMarco.
And I'll show you where DeMarco, he's the fullback out here. He's split out in a wide receiver position. But the entire offensive line is deep. Look at how deep the guys are on the left side. So DeMarco, when he tries to squeeze the line of scrimmage, like a lot of wide receivers do, they call him for covering up the tight end, who's at the end of the line. So it makes the tight end illegal when he goes down the field, illegal formation.
8 penalties for 46 yards against the Bills, including that big one on DeMarco, as Lamar Miller sees a little opening and takes it out to the 34-yard line, where Jordan Phillips makes the tackle. It's 3rd down.
If you are Bill O'Brien and you're trying to call plays for your offense, the thing that you are having problems with is you're not really controlling the line of scrimmage. You're not protecting your quarterback well when he drops back. You're not protecting him off of play action. And any time that the Buffalo Bills have decided to blitz, to bring an extra defender, they've gotten to your quarterback and they've been in his lap.
4 sacks today for the Buffalo defense. 3rd and 7. Hyde is coming with pressure. So is Hughes. Watson gets rid of it, and it's incomplete. Hyde and Hughes were closing quickly on Watson, and the Buffalo defense again steps up to the plate. It's 4th down.
It just makes it so tough when Micah Hyde's coming clear. Now, he's the unblocked defender. You saw the quarterback move away from him. Jerry Hughes was blocked, but he beat Davenport, the left tackle, so now you have 2 guys chasing your quarterback down. Not a good situation.
Micah Hyde, the deep man, receiving the punt from Trevor Daniel. Hyde from his own 14 and out of bounds. 3:31 to go, 3rd quarter. The Texans still on top of the Bills by 7.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Snickers. You're off your game when you're hungry. Eat a Snickers. And by Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
There's a look at what they're serving up over at Pinkerton's Barbecue. Founder and owner Grant Pinkerton, a Houston native. That was what we had, our crew had, for dinner last night. It was unbelievable meal. And James is going back for thirds after the game. Allen looking to throw deep on 1st down, and it's caught by Benjamin. Bills fans have been waiting for these two to get on the same page, and they hook up here for 39 yards.
If you are going to be a quarterback and throw the ball deep down the field on play action, you're going to have to throw it with the teeth of the defense bearing down on you. You see the little hit by Clowney, got him right in the chest, right under his throwing arm. But when it's a completion, those hits hurt just a little bit less.
Allen had 45 yards passing for the game before that 39-yard hookup. And you see Nathan Peterman, just in case, loosening up. Allen wants to go back to the air. Throws on the run, incomplete. It was behind Zay Jones, who was open. And something's not right with Allen after that hit by Clowney. You can tell he's nursing that right arm.
You know, coaches don't do it very often. But you have 3 timeouts to use every half. Your quarterback's aching a little bit. He just took a knee. So they're going to be, this could be an injury timeout when he takes that knee, so maybe they won't get charged.
Sean McDermott was looking for a penalty. Meanwhile, it's Nathan Peterman who will be coming into the game for the Bills. We spoke with Allen last night, and he said, I have felt the NFL. I have been very sore Monday morning. He said, actually, this Monday was pretty good. I didn't really get hit much against the Titans, but the other Mondays since he took over the starting job from Peterman, he admitted it's felt a little different than it did in college. We'll be back in 30 seconds after this from Pepsi.
Andrew, during that little timeout, Sean McDermott, who's normally mild-mannered, he was giving the officials an earful because he thought that Clowney led with his helmet when he went after the quarterback.
So it's Nathan Peterman, at least on this play. He started week 1, was pulled in the route against Baltimore, and his pass is incomplete. Looked like Benjamin should have had that one. How about the last 2 hits on Josh Allen?
You saw the helmet to the chest right under the armpit. And then right there, you can see where he winces, doesn't really get hit there, just gets twisted around a little bit. So now you've got to go get him to the sideline and figure out what's wrong. They're looking at the elbow, they're looking at the arm, trying to figure out where the pain is coming from. It's kind of when the adrenaline gets sucked out of your body, that's when all the pain kicks in.
And a reminder, Derek Anderson, the third quarterback, is inactive today. So Peterman's the guy. 3 on the play clock, 3rd and 10. Peterman throws. It is caught by Jones, shoved out of bounds at the 34-yard line by Joseph. A gain of 6. And now Joseph is down on the ground, the veteran in his 13th NFL season. Gets some help from Tyrann Mathieu. And let's see what Sean McDermott does here. It's 4th down and about 3 yards. And it looks like it's going to be Stephen Hauschka coming out to attempt a field goal.
What, 50, 52, 53 yards on this field goal attempt?
His long this year is 50, but last year Hauschka was 7 of 9 from beyond 50 yards, and now Sean McDermott, well, he ran Hauschka off the field, now he's running him back on the field.
He's just making sure he's warmed up enough to take this kick.
4th and 4. It's a 52-yard attempt for Stephen Hauschka. Hauschka's kick on line has the distance. It's good. Stephen Hauschka has been house money for the Bills. It continues, and now it's a 4-point game. We'll be back in 30 seconds. 2:12 to go, third quarter. Deshaun Watson getting ready to go back out on the field for the Texans, who have seen their lead cut down to 4, awaiting officially an injury update from the Bills on Josh Allen. Did look to be obviously something with his right arm, whether it's the elbow. We'll wait to hear officially from the Bills. It was Peterman who came on for those 2 plays that led to the Hauschka field goal. And Irvin will let this one go. It's a touchback. Saturday, it's the best game from the best conference when the top-ranked Alabama Crimson Tide take on the Tennessee Volunteers, who had a big win at Auburn yesterday. This is one of the storied rivalries in college football, played on the 3rd Saturday in October. The day kicks off with college football today at 3 Eastern, right here on CBS. A total of 19 players from the SEC in today's game between the Texans and the Bills. Deshaun Watson, 2 for his last 7, 19 yards and 2 interceptions. See if he can get the Texans offense back on track, and Milano flying in the backfield. Tackle for a loss for the second-year man out of Boston College.
With Deshaun Watson struggles throwing the football, what the Buffalo Bills have done, they've gone to a safety deep in center field and played one-on-one on the outside against the wide receivers and said, okay, Deshaun, let's see if you can beat us with your arm.
Second and 12, a handoff. And it's Miller who's able to drag Edmonds with him a few extra yards. A gain of 11 for Lamar Miller, and it's 3rd and 1.
And like you said, Andrew, kind of that little, they decided to huddle, send another tight end into the ball game and see if they can get a matchup there where they get some blocking near the point of attack. Maybe run the ball to the right side here. Here's your tight end.
Alfred Blue, the running back. Watson looking to throw on 3rd and 1. Nowhere to go. Watson is taken down. Ball is out. And the Bills say they have it. Buffalo football. Harrison Phillips recovers, the rookie out of Stanford. Another turnover by Deshaun Watson. That's his 3rd today.
there's pressure on the quarterback, but it's that indecisiveness, and that indecisiveness is created by great coverage. He's looking to his right. It's a three-step drop. He pats the ball. Then he tries to turn up into the pocket. When he turns up to run, he doesn't secure the ball and really keep it high and tight against his chest.
It looked like Trent Murphy knocked the ball loose from Watson, who's now going over that play with Bill O'Brien and the quarterback's coach Sean Ryan. The rookie Phillips recovers. And the Bills with great field position. And again, Nathan Peterman at quarterback. No Josh Allen. McCoy trying to break free and gets a couple of extra yards. So now the second drive for Nathan Peterman as Allen continues to sit on the bench in some pain. Bills still have not passed along the specific injury to Allen.
And you can see how dejected he is. He's not even up, standing on the sideline, checking out the play. So obviously it's terribly disappointing for Josh Allen.
Second down and 8. Should be the final play of the quarter if they even take the snap. And they won't. 3 quarters in the books. Houston 10, Buffalo 6 on CBS. Josh Allen trying to rally his teammates on the bench. The Bills have just told us it's an elbow injury, the right elbow of Allen. His return is questionable. But in the meantime, it's Nathan Peterman as we start the fourth quarter here in Houston. Second down and 8 to begin the fourth. McCoy has some room up the middle, and McCoy with a first down and more. All the way out to the 15-yard line, a gain of 14 for LeSean McCoy.
J.J. Watt on the sideline. Good time to try and run against this tough Texans front. And LeSean McCoy, patience to the hole and then speed and power through it. 15-yard line, you got to be sniffing that end zone if you're the Buffalo Bills.
McCoy, 12 carries, 58 yards rushing. Also has 19 yards receiving. Bills in the red zone, right back to McCoy, who's tripped up by McKinney. McKinney, the fourth-year man out of Mississippi State. James, how does the play calling change, if at all, with Peterman in a quarterback compared to Josh Allen?
I'm not sure if the playbook was all the way open for either one of these two guys. You talked about Sean McDermott, last year's team with Tyrod Taylor, an expansive playbook with a veteran quarterback. With two young quarterbacks who have not taken very many snaps, it's a little small, but once again, Kelvin Benjamin down at the bottom, that's big against little.
6th career game for Peterman. Handoff Ivory. Ivory taken down by his hair. And another man with long hair, Clowney, was the one who ripped him down. Long hair on long hair crime here in Houston.
You know, you always talk about, you say it's going to eventually happen, but it hardly ever does.
That is legal. That is not a horse collar play. If you're thinking that way, you want to have that long hair, well then that can happen, and that's exactly what happened there. And there's an injured Bill down on the field.
Somebody may be at the barber on Monday.
It's Vlad Dukas, the starting left guard, who was out on the ground there for Buffalo. And Ivory now having a laugh about it.
I mean, that play to Ivory, I mean, it was there. If he cannot grab him by the hair, I don't know if he has a chance to really bring him down.
Ivory's going to come out. Maybe he'll get an in-game haircut on the Bills sideline.
It's his running back, Coach Kelly Skipper, talking to him, and Kelly is clean shaven up top, so he might have mentioned that to Chris Ivory.
Ryan Groy comes in at left guard for the injured Dukas. It's 3rd down and 11. Peterman taking a shot at the end zone, and Jones has it. Touchdown, Buffalo! Nathan Peterman to Zay Jones, and the Bills have their first lead of the day.
everybody's playing guys who might not have been starters at the outset of the season. Sharice Wright wasn't even with this team at the outset of the season. They get a little stop-and-go move on him. He stops his feet. Receiver goes right by him, and Peterman drops it right in there in the corner of the end zone.
Third career touchdown pass for Peterman. Third career touchdown reception for Zay Jones. And the Bills, led by their defense, able to capitalize on offense. Peterman, Jones, touchdown Bills. First 35 minutes of the game, Bills did not score. They now have 13 points in the last 12 minutes. And what a pass that was from Nathan Peterman to Zay Jones to put the Bills in front 13-10 with 13 minutes to go. And a touchback for Hauschka. Deshaun Watson has turned the ball over 3 times today. 2 picks, a lost fumble, and James, with that chest injury, he has not looked himself.
You know, the quarterback gets the blame for the turnovers. He gets all the glory when he throws touchdown passes. But it's kind of the entire offense. A little bit of the offensive line not giving adequate protection. And down the field, the receivers who we lauded over to start the ball game, you got to get great separation so your quarterback can get rid of the ball quickly.
Last 5 possessions, 2 picks, 2 punts, and a fumble for the Texans. Watson to the air on first down, and he's got some separation there with Fuller. Fuller has a Houston first. It appeared that Phillip Gaines slipped to the ground, and that left Fuller open for a gain of 16. Gaines has seen the majority of the time at corner today for Buffalo. Ryan Lewis, who he had been sharing time with, inactive today. First down and 10 from the 41. Miller, Milano, and Yarbrough helping out as well. No gain on the play.
Just not clean lanes to run through. Now you get to 2nd and 10, and if you are along the Buffalo Bills front 4, you're thinking, get after the quarterback, create some more pressure. If I'm Bill O'Brien, I've got to somehow work a screen into this. They're not a big screen. Leslie Frazier told us, the defensive coordinator, they're not a big screening team.
Hand off to Miller as a hole, and then Edmonds is able to wrestle him down. 4 yards shy of a first. It's 3rd down.
They've tried a lot of different things on 3rd and shorts, from getting the ball to the slot receiver to trying to get him to the running back to having the quarterback run. If you cannot stop the guys up front from getting great penetration early and getting them to face your quarterback, you can't be successful doing anything. So you get that offensive line. They've got to stop these guys.
3rd and 4. Watson, nowhere to go. Watson is sacked again. Alexander having a day. The 35-year-old Lorenzo Alexander with a sack and an interception today for the Bills.
If you're the quarterback and you're trying to look down the field and you're trying to find guys who are going to be open, you got a receiver here, here. But you've got defenders all over them. Everywhere they go, there's White along with a red jersey.
We mentioned in our open the Bills secondary would have to come up big today, and the front has been tremendous, but that secondary, that was a coverage sack, no doubt about it. There's a flag down on the punt return by Micah Hyde with 10:27 to go in the 4th quarter. 45-yard punt for Daniel.
During the kick, holding, return team number 29. It's a 10-yard penalty, correction, half the distance to goal from the end of the kick, first down.
More
Time
special
out.
teams penalties for Danny Crossman's unit. That one goes on Saran Neal, but it's been a tough day for Deshaun Watson.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Pizza Hut, official pizza sponsor of the NFL. The well-connected 2019 Lincoln MKC. And by Verizon. The best unlimited is on Verizon, America's most awarded network.
Houston fans a little worried right now. Their team at a 10-0 lead, but now 13-10. You see the big wrap now on the elbow of Josh Allen. Bill's still saying he's questionable to return, but doesn't look like he's going anywhere. With Peterman back to quarterback, Ivory, and Ivory gets a yard. If you're just joining us, this was the injury to the right elbow of Josh Allen. It was Clowney coming, but it seems like Merciless.
Yeah, hit
ran
him
into his
right
elbow.
on that elbow, Andrew.
Yep.
And you can see him wincing in pain. Stayed in for one more play after that, and realizes at that point he wasn't any need to just try and gut it out. As tough as he is, he had to come out of the ball game.
For the Bills, Vlad Ducasse has not returned. It's still Ryan Groy at left guard. 2nd down and 9. Ivory. And Ivory gets it out to the 15-yard line. Tackle made by the rookie Justin Reed after a gain of 6.
Such a big series here for the Texan Titans defense. You really do need that 3 and out here. You want them to punt from that hole, the shadow of their end zone. You don't want them to creep out, take some time off the clock. You want to get your offense back there as quickly as possible, get them on the field. So big 3rd down for the Titans defense.
It's
the Texans defense, rather.
It's a knee injury for Ducasse. His return is questionable. Still Groy out there. 3rd down and 3. Bills 4 for 11 on 3rd downs today.
That little movement by the tight end signaled man-to-man coverage.
Peterman gets rid of it to Ivory. Ivory has the 1st down. Shoved out by Zach Cunningham. But Ivory had just enough to move the sticks.
Well, really nice. You move the guys, and then you get a little rub by the route run. You get 2 routes coming inside. You get the flat going to the outside. And the defender who has the back in coverage has to run through all that traffic to try and get to his coverage responsibility.
Since the 1st quarter, the Bills with 133 yards of offense. And now under the direction of Nathan Peterman. 1st and 10 from the 18-yard line. Flag is down. Zay Jones slips 1 tackle. Jones has the 1st down if this play stands. Good job after the catch by the 2nd-year man, Zay Jones. It would be a 15-yard gain.
You always think defense lined up in the neutral zone when you see that, but we had an illegal formation earlier against the Buffalo Bills.
Illegal formation. Offense. Number 73 was on the end of the line of scrimmage. It's a 5-yard penalty. Still 1st down.
It's on Dion Dawkins. So illegal formation penalties alone have negated a 42-yard gain by the Bills. The one to Benjamin, and now this one 15 yards to Zay Jones.
I remember when I was a wide receiver coach and you get those illegal formations, because it's all on you. I don't care if it's the tight end who messes up, the fullback who's supposed to be a line wide, or even if the tackle's deep. That formation is kind of your domain, and that head coach looks down at you like, what's going on here? That's all you have to do is get the guys lined up, and they can't even do that.
And before the snap, another penalty. And another penalty on
False
Buffalo.
start. Offense, number 82, 5-yard penalty, still 1st down.
Bills now have a season-high 11 penalties today, accounting for 63 yards.
The Houston Texans were up 10-0. They had a chance at the end of the half to kick a field goal to go up 13-0. But since that point, all the momentum went back over to the Buffalo Bills. The crowd had been taken out of the game. Now that they're flashing up the Get Loud signs all over the stadium. So it's a chance now for the Texans to do what they do best, play some defense.
Peterman in his own end zone, and he just throws it away with the pressure coming. McKinney was bearing down quickly. Whitney Merciless also applying pressure. Did appear that McCoy was in the direction of where Peterman
got rid of the
threw
ball
it.
legally. He gets it at the feet of McCoy. Matthew, the Honey Badger's over there, and even though it doesn't get to the line of scrimmage, it's still in the direction of his receiver.
These Texans fans making some noise with the Bills backed up at their own 8-yard line. McCoy trying to get it to the outside. McCoy out of bounds at the 12. Forced out by Jonathan Joseph after a gain of 5.
I would not be surprised. If I'm the offensive coordinator, I'm calling another run here. Peterman, you don't want to put him under that extreme pressure to have to scan the pocket to find one of his receivers one-on-one in the secondary. And remember when the Texans spied Allen? I don't think you have to spy Peterman. So if you can send an extra pass rusher, you can really disrupt him. You see the 2 backs in the backfield to give him a little extra protection.
He is throwing on 3rd and 15. Peterman over the middle. Andre Holmes has it for a first down. His first catch today, and it picks up 20.
That's bad zone defense. You've got receivers who you really don't respect a whole lot. They don't come in with double-digit numbers and receptions and all of that. You guard them one-on-one. You make them beat you one-on-one. You send an extra pass rusher. You come after the quarterback. Don't give him a chance to sit in the pocket and complete a deep square in where he's just throwing the ball straight down the field.
Peterman is 4 out of 6 for 46 yards as Allen continues to watch with the injured elbow. Moving closer to 6 minutes to go, and McCoy up the middle across the 35-yard line. You know, James, it's impossible to argue the numbers that Nathan Peterman has in games. The 5 interceptions against the Chargers last year. But spending some time around Buffalo in the preseason and us doing some games last year, the Bills really like Nathan Peterman. He had a great preseason. He looks great in practices. That has not translated at all to game action in the NFL. But this is a guy that the Bills, until now, he looks good, and this is what the Bills, I guess, have been trying to explain to us all this time, that there's something here with Peterman. He's showing it a little bit right now. That big play to Holmes, McCoy across the 40.
And what you're doing with McCoy, you're handing the ball deep in the eye, and you're allowing him to kind of scan the field, do what he does best, to jump around and find a running lane to run through. So smart play call by Brian Daboll, the offensive coordinator, in the fact giving your ball carrier a chance to read where there might be a hole. Now you've got an extra lineman, and so they're going with a heavy package. Sarles, number 74, is coming in as a tight end and as an eligible receiver. He's going to be on the end of the line to the right.
This drive has taken up more than 5.5 minutes off the clock. Bills trying to keep it going. It's 3rd and 2. Ivory up the middle. Ivory, and he did not get there. So it is 4th down for the Bills with 4.5 to go. And Sean McDermott is keeping the offense out there. What do you make of this, James Lofton? 4th and 2.
In basketball, when you're on the road and you're down by 2, you shoot the 3-point shot. I think you get up to the line of scrimmage, you try and bark a lot, try and get them to jump off sides, and then you go from there.
And a timeout has been called by the Texans. So at the very least, even if Buffalo does decide to end up punting the football, they did take a timeout away from Houston with 4:08 to go. Don't forget, coming up next on CBS, our doubleheader day continues. Most of you will see the Jaguars and the Cowboys. Some of you will see the Ravens take on the Titans. That's all next right here on CBS. Well, the timeout has not changed the mind of Sean McDermott. He's leaving the offense out there. This year on 4th down, the Bills are 3 for 5.
And the Houston Texans have seen this movie before. It happened against the Dallas Cowboys. The Cowboys had this situation against them, punted the ball away, didn't work out so well for him.
McCoy, the running back. Will he take the snap? Play clock at 4. And they won't. Before the play clock expired, Sean McDermott called timeout. So was just trying to get the Texans to jump. It did not work. It did caused the Texans to use a timeout, so they only have 2 remaining, as do the Bills now after taking that timeout with 4:08 to go. And I think that's the right play there, James Lofton.
It's interesting. The old freeze play normally entails a double shift, a motion, the quarterback taking his hands out from under the center, kind of gesturing. Peterman did all of that. And then they threw in another wrinkle. The left tackle, who had been in a 2-point stance, went to a 3-point stance right at the tail end, trying to get some movement. Nice job by the Texans not doing it.
With the way this Bills defense has played today, you make Houston go down the field. And that's what McDermott will do with Bojorquez punting. Irvin, good punt. Will it stay there? It will. Inside the 10, Bojorquez. A 51-yard punt. Bills by 3 late here in Houston. Nathan Peterman has come on, looked good through a go-ahead touchdown pass to Zay Jones as Josh Allen continues to be sidelined with a right elbow injury. Now Deshaun Watson backed up after the big punt by the Bills. 1st and 10 from inside his own 10-yard line. Watson in his own end zone, pressure coming, and he throws it away just as Murphy was bearing down on Watson. So far today, Watson has been sacked 6 times, hit 10 times, 2 interceptions and a lost fumble.
You know, when you go back to last week's game against the Dallas Cowboys, and they talked about how much Watson was hit, the offensive line has to take a lot of that responsibility. Watson, maybe you can see a few things quicker, but you can't do it if you don't have any protection.
By the way, DeAndre Hopkins does not have a catch this half. Tre'Davious White's done a great job since halftime on DeAndre Hopkins. Pressure coming. Watson throws, and it is caught. That's Will Fuller on the catch at the 25, a gain of 17.
You talk about throwing a frozen rope from your own end zone, and it almost appeared to be throwing it from a hole because that whole defensive front is closing in around him. He threw that ball to the spot where he believed the receiver was going to be, because I don't think he was able to see him.
1st down and 10. Watson, Hughes knocked it free. Ball is out again. Who's got it? No signal yet. It was Jerry Hughes who knocked it free. It's Houston football.
And as Deshaun Watson is trying to move up in the pocket, he tries to throw that ball, and you can see him clutching his right elbow now. Watch him as he moves away. He's going to try and throw the ball so he can get rid of it. You see an arm moving forward, but that hand was empty. So when that hand is empty and it's coming forward, that's a fumble.
Give Jerry Hughes, the Sugar Land, Texas native, the sack. He's now got 4 this year. 2nd down and 15 as we are inside 3 minutes to go. Watson over the middle. There's Hopkins. Hopkins spinning again for a Houston 1st down. Jordan Poyer the tackle, but not before Hopkins picks up 23.
You don't have to be in a hurry now. You have the 2-minute warning. You have 2 timeouts, so there's time to huddle, get the play call, catch your breath a little bit, get some composure going. You're trying to get down in field goal range, obviously, to tie the ball game up. Touchdown would be great.
2:20 to go. Watson throws on the run, caught by Alfred Blue. And Alfred Blue out of bounds at the Buffalo 42-yard line. 14 more yards for Watson and the Texans offense.
Alfred Blue had his hands up like a dad in the backyard with a baseball mitt catching a fastball from his son for the first time. He just looked, come on, this ball's got to be coming. It's got to be coming. He waited and waited. It's like he didn't take his eyes off him. Nice concentration by Alfred Blue.
Kaimi Fairbairn, the Texans kicker. Back-to-back game winners in overtime in the last 2 weeks. Looking for his chance here, 2:06 to go. Watson taking a deep shot down the field. Fuller is down there, and it's incomplete. And flag down. There was a flag before the pass, and now another one in the end zone. So we've got 2 flags down, and Will Fuller is still down behind the end zone. Fuller has been nursing a hamstring injury.
There are 2 fouls on the play, both on the defense. Holding, defense number 27, that penalty decline. Pass interference, defense number 28. The ball we placed at the 1-yard line due to the fact that an interference occurred in the end zone. Automatic first down.
So both cornerbacks for the Bills called for penalties. The big one on Phillip Gaines. Pass interference in the end zone. Moves the ball to the 1. Will Fuller still down. We're set up for a big finish here in Houston.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Bud Light. Enjoyed by Giant Blue fictional knights everywhere. And by Subway. Make it what you want.
After the pass interference penalty in the end zone, it's 1st and goal for the Texans at the 1.
You know, you don't want them to score right away, and Sean McDermott is right down there to call timeout.
And Blue is stuffed. Jerry Hughes, one of the first to get back there, a loss of 1.
Yeah, like you said, not only stuffed, but a loss of 1. So that made it even easier for Sean McDermott, who's stationed inside the 10-yard line.
Buffalo called timeout. They have 1 remaining. Will Fuller just ran back out onto the field, so he's okay. He'll be in there for this 2nd and goal play. Stay tuned for the NFL Today update delivered by Pizza Hut, time permitting. JB, Phil, Nate Boomer, and Coach Cower have all the latest NFL scores and highlights. Texans in the red zone, where they have struggled all season long. Lost 1 on 1st down, now it's 2nd and goal. They flip it to QT. QT trying to get around the edge, and he can't. Matt Milano, Phillip Gaines, Micah Hyde, all converging on the football. And Sean McDermott has called his final timeout, another loss of 1.
Worst case scenario for the Houston Texans. They kick a field goal, you tie the ball game up. Now you do give the ball back to the Buffalo Bills. That play that they just ran right there was QT's first touchdown reception that he had on that short jet sweep type flip that he had from Deshaun Watson earlier in the season. Buffalo Bills, they watch a lot of film. They've seen that play on film before.
Can Leslie Frazier's defense hold the Texans to a field goal attempt? It's 3rd and goal.
There's DeAndre Hopkins inside.
And movement all over the place. The Texans jump first.
Ball start. Offense, number 74. 5-yard penalty. Still 3rd down.
Andrew, occasionally you can audibilize what your snap count is going to be, whether you want it on 1, 2, or 3. When you heard Monday, first day of the week, right after that, hut. So the offensive lineman, maybe the center didn't realize it. That ball should have been snapped on 1, because both those tackles were moving at the same time because they believed that the snap count was going to be on 1.
10th false start this season against the Texans, most in the NFL. Ball now at the 9-yard line, 3rd and goal. Hughes is coming. Watson gets away from him. Watson fires. Broken up. Milano got a hand on it. What a season for Matt Milano. And the Bills defense forces a field goal attempt by the Texans.
There was some space. Ryan Griffin was running the flat route. He had about 1.5 yards. When Deshaun Watson cocked his arm to throw it, it looked like Matt Milano stepped on the go button, and he drove and he was able to knock that ball away. So now, here's the field goal attempt.
A 27-yard attempt for Fairbairn, who's 1 for 1 today. And the kick is good. With 1:34 to go, we are tied at 13. And let's go back to that last play by Milano on 3rd down.
Milano's going to pick up the coverage as he runs with the running back, right? Runs with the tight end across the field. And that last minute when the tight end puts his hands up to catch the ball, he just swipes at those hands and is able to get his hand on the football.
So will the Texans go to overtime for a 3rd straight week? It's only happened one other time in NFL history. A team to play 3 straight games. The 2004 Jets did it. No team has ever won 3 straight overtime games. Bills obviously have other ideas. 1:34 on the clock. And no timeouts for Buffalo. There you see it. No team has ever won 3 straight overtime games. That was an 84-yard drive for the Texans, longest of the year. With Taiwan Jones back deep for the Bills. And it will be a touchback. Now, James, give us an idea. How many reps would Nathan Peterman, the backup, have during the week for a 2-minute drill?
The only reps that he's had is when he's repping the other team's 2-minute offense. So he's getting some reps because everybody runs similar things, but he hasn't gotten the reps probably with these starting receivers and all the offensive line in front of him. So it's imperative, if you're playing defense, don't give them a chunk play early in this drive. When you want to start this drive out, we always talk about a starter to get things rolling. It's either a draw or a short screen pass to LaShawn McCoy, who's really tough to tackle out in the open field.
Peterman fires incomplete. Was looking for Kelvin Benjamin. Joseph had the coverage.
Now Bill O'Brien has some decisions to make. He has 2 timeouts right now. If Buffalo can't move the ball and if they have a short gain here on 2nd down, does he use one of the 2 timeouts to stop the clock?
Hauschka loosening up. Career long is 58 for Hauschka. Bills have the ball at the 25-yard line.
They've had some success going against Sharice Wright, who was beaten on the touchdown earlier.
Peterman picked off! Joseph! And he will go! Touchdown! Unbelievable. The 34-year-old Joseph all over that throw by Nathan Peterman. His 8th career interception, and this one goes all the way back for a touchdown. A flag in the end zone. I think it's going to be extra celebration.
The touchdown counts after the play. Unsportsmanlike conduct, taunting. Houston, number 90. That 15-yard penalty will be assessed on the kickoff. That is number 90's first unsportsmanlike conduct penalty in regards to disqualification.
That's the 2nd time Joseph has had a pick 6 against Buffalo in his career. When he was with the Bengals in 2010, he picked off Ryan Fitzpatrick and took it back for a touchdown. And now Joseph in his 13th season does it against the Bills again. This time it's Nathan Peterman. Fairbairn out for the extra point. And it's good with 1:23 to go. It's a 20-13 game.
You know, we had Joseph in our meetings, and the thing that he talked about, being a veteran in his 13th year, is that he felt like he was an extension of the coaching staff. And when you watch this play, you can't coach it any better than what he did right there, because they baited them into thinking that it was a deep third look, but he had a defender behind him, and it's a trap look. You blitz from that side on the slot, and you trap the outside throw that you think is going to come in the direction. Jonathan Joseph did everything a coach would tell you to do, but he did it on the playing field.
The Texans have scored 10 points in the last 11 seconds. And that is a look you've seen a lot from Nathan Peterman in his career. Sean McDermott trying to tell him, hey, we're going to go back out there. You're going to get another crack at it. But Peterman continues to throw interceptions. That has been the story of his NFL career.
So the little wrinkle here with having to kick the ball from 15 yards further back, most kickoffs go about 5 yards deep in the end zone. This one we can anticipate landing at about the 10-yard line, which puts the return in play. So imperative to really cover this kick here.
Taiwan Jones averaging 21 yards per kick return. He drops it, picks it up, and now will run with it. Jones trying to get to the outside. He can't. So the Bills gifted that extra yards out of the penalty, and they're going to be way backed up after Callum Bailly makes the tackle on special teams.
These are the moments that I don't care if you're on the offensive side of the ball or the defensive side of the ball that you have to feel like you live for. If you're on the defensive side of the ball, a minute 16 to play, no timeouts for your opposition. Get after the quarterback, keep the play in front of you. If you're on the offensive side of the ball, how can I get a chunk play, get this ball out near midfield so we have some shots at the end zone?
No timeouts for the Bills. Peterman throwing, and it's incomplete in the direction of Andre Holmes, but Cunningham was right there. Josh Allen, if you're just joining us, injured his right elbow earlier in the half. Was listed as questionable to return, but has not come back in, and that elbow all taped up. So it's Peterman here with 70 seconds to go.
Watt and Clowney can give you instant pressure coming from the outside.
Peterman, and it's a nice catch on the sideline by Jones. Zay Jones, who's had a nice game here for the Bills, he gets 13 yards. He caught the touchdown earlier from Peterman.
Minute 5 to play. You move the sticks, you move the chains. Now, Romeo Crennel, you just don't want to be vanilla, just a four-man rush. So you want to move your defenders around a little bit, guys standing up to rush the passer. You don't give the offensive line good clues on who's coming. So you've got the two outside ends here and here. But look in the middle. Look at the guy standing up. You kind of call that spaghetti on a plate.
Peterman on the move. He'll just run out of bounds. Good coverage by this Houston defense with 58 seconds to go. Peterman does not have a career game-winning fourth quarter drive. Just his 6th NFL game. And he has thrown 8 interceptions in those 6 games.
.58 seconds on the clock. One of the things that you can do, you can still use that deep middle. Remember the square in that they completed just a couple of series ago? This middle of the field, that's an open area if you can get to it.
The speed threat for the Bills out there is Ray McCloud. Peterman dumps it down to McCoy. Thought about going out of bounds. He doesn't. That's not a good play by McCoy. Kareem Jackson on the tackle. Bills cannot stop the clock. Peterman waiting for everyone to get back. They're lined up. 3rd down and 6. Peterman throws across his body, picked off. Kareem Jackson. Jackson is dragged down by Dawkins. And that will be the way it ends.
Kareem Jackson for 8 years in the NFL had been a corner, playing that elite position, playing on the outside. Coaches said to him, we're going to go in a different direction. We're going to move you to safety. Some guys would look at that as a demotion. Kareem Jackson said, I can play safety, I can play nickel corner. You saw the cornerback skills there, reading the quarterback's eyes, keeping your eyes on the quarterback as he scrambled around. another big play. The first by Johnson Joseph, the second by Kareem Jackson. For the two veterans, they're the party makers.
You really have to wonder about Nathan Peterman's future going forward with the Buffalo Bills. Another awful performance in an NFL game. Bonus coverage is coming up. Bengals lead the Steelers by 1 late in Cincinnati. But here in Houston, the Texans escape with a 20-13 victory. 2 interceptions for Peterman late here in the fourth quarter, and the Texans win their 3rd straight game. They go to 3-3 and will go to Jacksonville next week for a big AFC South game against the Jaguars. Bills fall to 2-4, and they will see the Colts next week.
They didn't need last-second kicking heroics, but they got those heroics from their defense this time, Andrew.
Final score here in Houston, Texans 20 and the Bills 13. For James Lofton, this is Andrew Catalon saying so long from Houston.